Welcome to Screen Hollywood, the home of movie news and entertainment. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Welcome back to Screen Hollywood. I'm your host, Adam. If you're new here, join the Hollywood family and hit the like, subscribe, notification bell, and hype button. And bookmark and subscribe to our news publication at screenhollywood.com. In the vast, dusty archives of cinema, there are hidden gems. Movies that, for one reason or another, slipped through the cracks on their initial release, only to be discovered later and hailed as the brutalist masterpieces they truly are. For me, and for a massive, passionate cult following, one of the greatest and most underrated comic book films of all time is Pete Travis and Alex Garland's 2012 masterpiece, DREDD. It was a film that perfectly understood its source material, a film that was ahead of its time, and a film that has been begging for a sequel for over a decade. Well, folks, it seems the law is coming back to Mega City 1. A reboot is officially in the early stages of development. But this is a classic good news, bad news situation. The good news? The one man who is the law, Karl Urban, is ready and willing to put the helmet back on. The bad news? The director reportedly attached to the project is a choice so baffling, so tonally mismatched, that it threatens to turn this grim, dystopian nightmare into a goofy, comedic mess. So today, we are going to break down this shocking news, sing the praises of a modern classic, and ask the question, is it better to have no dread at all than the wrong dread? Before we get into the new project, I have to talk about the 2012 film, because my own history with it is a perfect example of why it became such a cult phenomenon. I will be completely honest with you. I completely missed DREDD in theaters. The marketing was minimal, it came and went, and I didn't think twice about it. It was about a year later that one of my friends, whose taste in movies I trust implicitly, sat me down and said, "You have to watch this." And folks, I was absolutely blown away. From the opening frames, I was hooked. The quality, the detail, the world building. It was incredible. It was this beautifully shot, neon-drenched nightmare. The cinematography was so slick, especially those breathtaking slow-motion sequences showing the effects of the slow-mo drug. It was both gorgeous and horrifying. And the cast was perfect. Lena Headey, fresh off her ascent as Cersei Lannister in Game of Thrones, was terrifying as the drug lord Mama. She wasn't a supervillain. She was a scarred, venomous, and utterly ruthless gangster, and she was brilliant in that movie. But the soul of the film, the man who brought the law to life, was Karl Urban. In a role where you never see his face, he delivered a masterclass in physical acting. The scowl, the gravelly voice, the sheer intimidating presence. He was Judge Dredd. It was a perfect performance in a perfect, self-contained, brutal action film. And that brings us to the good news. According to a new report from comicbookmovie.com, Karl Urban is absolutely ready and willing to return to the role. He said that if there's a great script and a role for him, he's in. This is the best possible news we could get. Karl Urban is on absolute fire right now. His performance as the cynical, foul-mouthed, and secretly heroic Billy Butcher in The Boys has made him a global superstar. He is a fan favorite, an actor who understands genre material and always gives it 110%. He's also about to star as Johnny Cage in the upcoming Mortal Kombat 2, another role fans are incredibly excited for. The man's star has never been brighter, and his passion for the character of Dredd has never wavered. For 12 years, in almost every interview, he has championed this film and expressed his desire to return. He is the heart and soul of this potential revival. And now, for the bad news. The part of this report that has sent a wave of genuine dread through the entire fan base. The director who is reportedly being courted to helm this new reboot is Taika Waititi. And I don't get it. I am not a fan of this director. Not anymore. He did a tremendous job on Thor Ragnarok. That movie was lightning in a bottle. It was a blast. It was funny, it was vibrant, and it was the shot in the arm the Thor franchise desperately needed. But his follow-up, Thor: Love and Thunder, was an absolute, unmitigated disaster. He tried to take the fun, quirky elements of Ragnarok and dial them up to a whole new level of goofy. And what we got was a goofy, stupid, self-indulgent mess of a film. A movie that treated its characters like jokes, its plot like an afterthought, and its emotional core with complete disdain. It was a parody of a parody, and it completely derailed one of the MCU's founding characters. So, my question is, why on earth would you sign that director on to helm Judge Dredd? Dredd is a serious, moody, dark, and hardcore R-rated action property. The comics and the 2012 film that so perfectly captured their tone are defined by their grim, satirical, and ultra-violent nature. The humor in Dredd is pitch black, a cynical commentary on a dystopian police state. It is not wacky, improvisational, or goofy. Taika Waititi's signature style is the polar opposite of everything that makes Dredd work. I am genuinely worried that he will come in and completely misunderstand the property, that he will try to Taika-fy it, and that he will make this dark, brutal world silly. He will make Dredd a quippy, self-aware hero who winks at the camera. He'll turn Mega City 1 into a backdrop for wacky hijinks. He will completely miss the point. And this puts me, and I think a lot of fans, in an impossible position. I would love nothing more than to see Karl Urban put that helmet back on. He has earned it. He deserves it. But based on the likely direction Taika Waititi will take this film, I honestly think Urban is probably better off sitting this one out. Why? Because his performance in the 2012 film is perfect. It is a flawless legacy. Why risk tarnishing that by appearing in a reboot that fundamentally misunderstands the character? Why come back just to be a comedic, goofy version of the character you so perfectly embodied as a grim instrument of the law? Sometimes, it is better to let a perfect legacy stand on its own than to risk destroying it with a misguided sequel. This whole project is now a paradox. It has the perfect star, a man born to play this role who is passionate and at the peak of his career. And it has, in my opinion, the absolute worst possible choice for a director, a man whose entire creative sensibility is fundamentally incompatible with the source material. The project is still in the earliest of days. Nothing is set in stone. But this initial news is both incredibly exciting and deeply terrifying. Let's just hope that if this does move forward, the script is so strong and Karl Urban's commitment is so absolute that it can withstand the potential tonal train wreck that the director might bring to it. I want to be wrong about this, I truly do, but my gut feeling is one of deep, deep concern. But what do you think? Am I being too harsh on Taika Waititi? Do you think his style could actually work for Judge Dredd? And should Karl Urban return, no matter who is directing? Let me know your full, detailed thoughts in the comments below. As always, if you enjoyed this brutally honest breakdown, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to Screen Hollywood, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive. I'm Adam, and I'll see you at the movies.